Hello guys, it's me and asked you to do the review for A Woman's Work, Nikki Turner. The authors in this book is Keisha Starr, Tisha, Lakeisha Cox, and Monica S. Hall. And I've read Keisha's story and I've read Tisha's story. And first, let me start off by saying the first two stories that I've read so far are awesome. They are really, really awesome. Really good. Tisha's story, I feel like, should be a book all in itself. I feel like this should be a book somewhere. Like, there's a missing part. There's a book somewhere here. Well, let's get started. I'm not going to jump all over the place, but I'm going to try not to anyway. I'm going to go to the first part, which is Keisha Starr. And Keisha Starr's part is about, the name of hers is Dying to Be a Star. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But it's called Dying to Be a Star. And her part is really about a young girl who's in high school and she meets up with this group. She starts singing with this group. It's called Pretty in Pink. And her mother and her father are actually, her father's a pastor, a well-known pastor in Pennsylvania. Is it Pennsylvania? Let me check y'all. I think it's Pennsylvania. Yeah, in Pennsylvania. And her mom is, of course, she's the first lady of the church. And they have an image that they want to uphold. They know that their daughter has an awesome voice, that she sings like a songbird. They are well aware of that part. But they want her to use her talents for being in the church and ultimately being positive and doing something good with it. Not being like in the secular world or being in like the hip-hop genre, that type of thing. They want her to be in church and singing, singing for the Lord. And this is not Melissa's thing. The character's name is Melissa. Melissa's thing is not, sorry, this hair is, sorry y'all. Melissa's thing is not that. Melissa doesn't want to do that. Melissa wants to be with Pretty in Pink. She wants to make it. She wants to be a star. She's looking to be the next big whoever. She wants to be in the limelight. She wants the glitz and the glamour and all that. And the way she's going about it is, in my opinion, wrong. Homegirl is sleeping for beats. She's getting beats from different producers. How she's going about it, she's sleeping with dudes. She's doing whatever she got to do to get her paper. You know that something strange for a piece of change? Yes, girlfriend is doing it. And I mean, this is in the beginning. This is young. She's sleeping with this dude. She's doing it all. Well, and in the process of doing all of this, she's doing what we've all done at some point, lied to our parents. Okay, so she lied to her parents. So now she done got caught. Her parents say, look, you gonna stay in my house, you either gonna live by my rules, or you gonna kick rocks. So she decides, well, I'm a big girl, I can handle my business. I'm kicking rocks. So she starts calling dudes and she's calling everybody and she's like, well, my parents kicked me out. She's telling them the story and these dudes is like, oh, so what you gonna do? She's like, well, I can't believe this. Well, what you thought was gonna happen, shawty? You giving it up. You doing whatever. You a jump off. Anyway, so all of that's done and she moves in with one of the girls from the Pretty in Pink. And she's writing music, she's getting these beats, she's giving him this beat, she's sleeping with this producer and he's giving her music and he's doing this and he's doing that. And she's writing this music, making lyrics, doing this, doing that, doing this. Well, in the end, or the beginning of her demise ultimately, is they get signed and they're getting signed to a big record label in New York. Excuse me. So they have to go to New York. In the meantime, the manager of the group is actually a mother of one of the girls in the group. And she's like, I'm changing y'all whole image. She wants her daughter to be the front runner. So she's putting her daughter out in the front. She wants her daughter to spotlight and shine. She's changing their hairstyle. She's changing their images, all of that, long weaves, all this other stuff. And pushing the 2 other girls to the back. And she's like, wait a minute, this ain't right. Melissa's like, this ain't right. I wrote this music, I did this, I did that. She's like, oh yeah, by the way, the music that you wrote, my daughter's gonna be featured as a writer on your music. She didn't write anything, I wrote this. Well, when you don't have a good education or you don't read the fine print in what you're doing, you get screwed. They made her sign a contract that she's under them for 7 years. So with her being under them for 7 years, guess what? All her music, everything she wrote, all the beats, everything that she produced, the whole CD and package she put together, is under her name and under somebody else's name, and she has no rights to it. And on top of that, her and her parents are not talking, so she can't go to her parents and get help. So what she decides is, I gotta get out of here. I'm going to ATL. I'm making big in ATL. Forget them. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So she takes $300, which is all she has left. She packs up her car. They done bleached this girl clothes, cut up her clothes, all kind of stuff. As she gets on the road and she heads to ATL. Nowhere to stay when she gets to ATL. No job and no money. But she's going. So she goes. She gets to ATL, and the first thing she do is she sleep with some dude. I was like, this girl is working my good nerves. Do you hear me, y'all? So she sleeps with the dude, and it was just a mess with it. She slept with him. She finally decides she's gonna get something to eat because she had been driving all the time and didn't stop to get nothing to eat. She hadn't fed herself. She hadn't done anything. So she goes, and after she sleeps with dude, of course, because he promised her a record deal, he promised her beats, he promised her all of this. He was gonna be her manager. He's gonna bring her to the top. This child, she goes to Justin's restaurant and she meets a lady named Amanda. Amanda's the waitress there. Amanda is an up-and-coming model. And she gets there and all she orders was some red beans and rice and a water. And Amanda's like, that's all you want? She's like, yes. She's like, I shouldn't even be here. I don't even have enough to buy that. So as she was getting ready to get up, Amanda comes and Amanda brings her a plate of food. Chicken, red beans, and rice, the whole fixings. She was like, you're not telling, I don't have the money for this. She was like, I know, I've been where you've been. I wish I had somebody to help me and guide me. Fill this out. Here's a job application. You could come and stay with me. Amanda pretty much was like, I'll take care of you. I'll put you under my wing. I'll help you the best that I can. You know what I mean? You be honest with me, I be honest with you, and we work together. So she got the job. Her and Amanda become roommates. They living together, and things are good for a while. She's still on her grind. She's hustling. She's on her grind as far as writing her music and getting her music, trying to get her music out there. Again, the way she's going about it is foul. She's sleeping with everybody, and the producer she slept with that night was Fats. She's sleeping with him, plus his crew, plus their crew. Like, she going through them. And they going through her, rather. And they come up with a name for her called FFB. So, once she starts getting, you know, going through the crew, getting her beats, getting her CD together. Now she's got her CD together. And she goes to this radio station. And there's this guy named Jay Spins. And Jay Spins is supposed to put her on. Like, try to get her on the radio. So she goes there to try to get put on the radio. Well, what he got in mind and what she got in mind is two different things. She thinking about getting on the radio, getting her music out there, people could hear it, start to bump in the club and all that other stuff. What he thinking about is FFB, which stands short for Fucks for Beats. Yes, Lord. So, now, she goes and she's like, I'm not sleeping with you, you nasty, da 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 da. He was like, oh, you'll be back, you'll be back. Long story short, she couldn't believe that Fats put her out there like that. She couldn't believe it. She didn't know what FFB meant and all this other stuff. So she left Fats alone She's working. She's still trying to get her music out there, and she meets another producer at Justin's. This producer is some big wig type dude, and he comes in and she meets him, and she pretty much loses her job actually performing a solo right there in front of everybody at her job. She loses her job. He winds up setting her up in an apartment, getting her clothes, getting her hair done, nails done, all that kind of stuff. You ain't gotta worry about working. You on my team. I'm gonna get you out there. I'm gonna get you out there. I'm gonna get you out there. Well, in the process of all of this, she was doing really good. Like, she was getting her music out there. She was getting herself together. She was doing what she had to do. She wasn't sleeping with him, nothing. Honey, this child here, she turned around and she sleeps with dude. Now, this time she sleeps with dude. She thinks, I like dude. Dude is feeling me. Never mind the fact dude got a girlfriend. But he's feeling me and I'm feeling him, and this gonna be us. Well, honey, no. In the process of them getting it in, here come 2 of his boys. 2 or 3 of his boys. And they watching. And she like, they're watching me, and da-da-da. He was like, yeah. Well, we a family. We do everything together. So she like, okay. And they gets it in. All 4 of them, all 3 of them, all 5 of them. And she knows in the beginning this is wrong. She feels it in her heart. She doesn't want to do this. But because she wants him to put her on, she feels like she has no other choice. This is what she has to do. Well, long story short, homegirl winds up. At one time, long story short, she winds up going to, excuse me, y'all, I got bad sinuses. She winds up going to, she's leaving the studio one night. And when she's leaving the studio, one of the guys that she slept with that first night, she slept with the producer, I think his name was White Boy. White Boy came and he was like, well, my brother wants some, da-da-da. She was like, no, I wasn't told that I had to sleep with you. I'm not sleeping with you, da-da-da-da. Well, they was like, well, guess you is. So ultimately they raped her and they got what they wanted. So she called the big producer guy and was like, look, let me find his name. She called the big producer guy and was like, well, look, they raped me. And he was like, well, you can't say it was rape because you had already slept with one of them and you done ran through everybody. You got a name out there. You out there already. Da, 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 da. People know what you do. I know about you before. Oh, Reggie. His name was Reggie. There you go. Reggie. Reggie was like, you can't say that because you already slept with everybody. She winds up sleeping with the guy from the radio station that she said she wouldn't sleep with. She wound up sleeping with him too. So he's like, well, everybody know what you do. This is what you do. So you can't say it's rape. Plus, on top of that, the first night we slept together, you slept with White Boy and another dude. And we had that on tape. That was your idea. You wanted to tape it. So she was like, well, I'm calling the police. He was like, well, look, you do what you got to do, and I do what I got to do. But I can't have this on my label. And White Boy finna come out, and he finna blow up. And I can't let you ruin my money. So you got to go. You got 30 days. You need to get your stuff. Get out this apartment. Do what you got to do. So she finally leaves. She winds up in a hotel for one night. She gets another job, working as a waitress again. And she gets an apartment. And so now she has an apartment. She's working as a waitress. And she's not really trying to push her music as much as she was before. Well, honey, she gets sick. She thinks she's pregnant. Well, she didn't know why she was sick. She was just sick. One of her co-workers was like, I think you're pregnant. You need to go to the doctor. Here's my doctor's name and number. Go to her. She'll really help you. She's really good. She'll help you out, whatever, whatever, whatever. She goes there. She's like, I've already had all these other abortions from Pennsylvania. I've already had all these other abortions. Da, da, da. I said that was my last and I had no more. But honey, she go there and she ain't pregnant, y'all. Girlfriend is not pregnant. Girlfriend has HIV. Now, remember the first producer she slept with and when she first came to Atlanta, Fats? Well, come to find out, Fats has HIV and he's sleeping with people on purpose and passing it along. Before she left, Atlanta. She decided this is it. Well, before she had this major meltdown. She got kicked out of her apartment. She wasn't paying no bills. She wasn't doing nothing after she found out she had AIDS. Well, HIV, excuse me. And she got kicked out, put out on the street. While she was getting put out on the street, the Reggie and the white boy who raped her, they came and they was like laughing at her or whatever. And she was like, I may be down and out on the street, but we all got something in common. And they were like, we ain't got nothing. We on top. We rocking, da 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 da. What she was trying to tell them is, yeah, we all got HIV in common, da da da. Well, anyway, long story short, she was like, look, I got to go. I got to go. I can't stay here. I got to get my life here. This got to be a new beginning. She called the girl, Amanda, that she had the falling out with. Her and Amanda had a falling out. When her and Amanda had the falling out, she called Amanda and she was like, look, I'm so sorry for what I've done, things that I've said, da-da-da, this is what's going on. And Amanda's like, well, you're not a quitter. I've never known you to be a quitter. Why are you quitting? Well, I have HIV. I got to get out of here. I got to do, once people, the main people, certain people find out that this is what I had and that I was the one possibly gave it to them, you know, my life would be in danger, this and that and the other. Well, Amanda was like, remember I told you not to be with Fats. She was like, it was already too late. I had slept with Fats that first night we met. But he was the one who, that's how she found out how she got HIV. So she wrote all of them a nice, long, pretty letter. Everybody. From beginning to end of all the people she slept with in Atlanta. The head music people that was supposed to be putting her on. And basically told them she got HIV and this is where they got it from and this is how they got it and they better go get checked out. Ultimately, at the end, 2 years later, she got herself together. She moves back. She calls her parents. Her parents said, come home. She's going home, and I'm getting my life together. But mommy and daddy, before I come home, this is what I have. You, our child, come home. The ending of the story is so beautiful. She goes back home, and she gets her life together. She winds up being a singer, songwriter, producer, and an author. She wrote a book about her experience. She started a nonprofit organization called STARS. I think, and STARS stood for, you know, I love the name STAR because, you know, well, but she wrote it. Let me see, y'all. I'm trying to get the. It's a non-profit organization called STAR, and it's for the ages 12 to 18. And remember, you gotta remember that 12 to 18 stage was when she started going out there and sleeping around and trying to get music and doing things. And the name of the organization stands for, I'm sorry, Stop, Think, Reconsider. Stop, think, and reconsider your decisions. That's what STAR stands for. And I thought that was beautiful. I love the way this book and this story ended. I shouldn't say book, but this story ended. It was beautiful. This story gave you so much. It gave you that grittiness you get from street literature, but it also gives you that wholesomeness that you get to, gives you that family, and it also gives you a great message. And that's what I loved about this book. This story was a very good story. I really enjoyed this story. She really outdid herself with this one. So this is the first part of a woman's work. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, this is Little Fatal. I have 4 more stories to come back with, so you guys stay tuned. Remember to always be fatal and love one another. Sorry. Bye, guys.